Well, my name is Felix Ugo. I'm a Nigerian actor. Wow, that's over a decade ago. I started off with the first production I ever did, which is, if I can remember, about 15 years ago, was with the then OJ Productions. The title I can't remember right now, but it was with Omotola Jalade and I think Yemi Black. But my main entrance into Nollywood was with Tajuddin Adikbetu's popular TV series called One Love, which has been shown by CMA then on AIT stations, and that actually was my first major move in Nollywood. It's been lovely because Nollywood is an industry that has been growing over time. It started off with the days of the Things Fall Apart and has gained so much international acclamation now. But I would say the journey has been like a school itself. It teaches you along the process. You learn how to expand. You also learn how to work with different kinds of people. You understand what it means shooting for film, what it means shooting for TV series. And as an actor, I think you just learn to evolve. You learn to evolve to become a better actor, because I believe every actor's dream is to become a better version of what they do. And as an actor, for me, it's been beautiful because I started off majorly from TV series. I have learned the market of TV, I've learned the audience, I've also learned how to transform that into film and how to communicate with my audience. So I've grown as an actor. I've really grown in the industry. Well, Nollywood, like I said earlier on, it's a thriving industry that has been growing steadily. I think what could be added, number one, is we need a bigger form of distributing content. We need more distributors to have to make it possible for producers to be able to sell their content. We need a lot of distributors. For the film, I would say we're already building, we're already doing quality productions. I think we just need to have stronger schools to help build acting, so we don't just act for number train of lines. We need to start diving into deeper characterizations where actors can penetrate into deep characters and not the shallow acting which we've been doing for a long time. I think it's about time we start competing with a large market like Hollywood, and being able to show that we as Nollywood actors, we as a Nollywood industry, we can actually go down the deep oceans and swim with the sharks. Yeah. Well, when someone calls Nollywood, the first thing that comes to my mind is an industry that starts off without government assistance, an industry that has been able to bring in so much drama. I mean, Nollywood is known for the dramatic. We started off with the old movies, the Living in Bondage, the big films like Checkmate, like there's a lot of them from the past. Full Moon, when we had an industry that was struggling to show the world what we had to offer. And that same industry has developed into what it is now. We are seeing big cinema films, which is winning box office, leading the box office and all of that. So when I hear Nollywood, I hear progress. I hear an industry that has been thriving and is making it now. It's creating large streams of income for both the actors, the producers, the filmmakers, the crew, everybody. And it's an industry which in the next nearest future will be like the number one earning, the number one workforce in the country. And that is where we are driving towards. So Nollywood, that's what I think of when I hear Nollywood. I say I grew up to be an actor because when I was younger, I'm an only child of my mother. So when I was younger, I used to go to school. I come back to school, then I go to my mother sends a driver to bring me to the office. And as an only child, I didn't have much people I play with. So I started creating imaginary characters. And I started acting, like I act with invisible people. I create scenarios, I create scripts. And that just, there was even a point where I was doing it and someone had to, my mom's boss had to call my mom and say, are you sure your child is okay? Like, because I think that's just where it kickstarted for me, because from there I learned how to be able to be so many things at the same time. And then growing up, went through school, I had my cousin who was big in Nollywood then, Patata, and I used to go with him to different locations then, and we had producers that would be like, oh, Pat, I want to use your cousin to shoot, but then I would be like, oh, no, I don't want to dive into this yet. But I just think it's an industry that was made for me, because over time, the first TV show, which I just mentioned, that I ever did, I didn't like struggle for it. I just saw up the audition. I was like, okay, let me try this. I went, it was like over 1,000 people, and I was made to wait for a long time. And I felt irritated at first, but I just contained myself. So after waiting for a long time, they come to me and they're like, okay, we had a reason making you wait. We want to test your patience. You're welcome to, and I was taken up to the big boss, Tajudeen Adikpetu's office, and they were like, oh, you're welcome to the family, and you've been casted. And that was it for me. And since then, it's been a beautiful journey, and it's been a constant progress for me. Wow. With the kind of movies Nollywood is raking in already, and the progression, I see Nollywood as winning awards in, yeah, and I mean international awards in the Oscars. I see that happening. I see Nollywood as a means that you use to send out positive messages. I see movies being used not just for entertainment, but also used as a medium to preach, to educate. I see Nollywood working hand in hand, which is already happening, with not just Hollywood productions, with French productions, with so many productions. I see Nollywood expanding to become like a way of life. Let me put it that way. The same way you see Hollywood and you can hear Nollywood. Nollywood is gaining that kind of entrance, that kind of platform. So I see Nollywood as becoming the next thing, the future of filmmaking. The future, because if you notice right now, you could tell that a lot of Hollywood movies, a lot of Hollywood producers rather, are coming down to look for African stories, because Africa has a lot of stories, epic, historic stories that has not yet been told. So once Nollywood taps into that and we begin to tell our stories more, that is big, major big, because it's not just about Hollywood coming to tell our stories. Hollywood needs to liaise with us and we tell our stories. So you can imagine that for Nollywood, because we have beautiful stories to tell the world. So I see Nollywood as the biggest thing in the next 5 years. Nollywood is already breaking into the international industry. I just think we need to make things, we need a stronger structure. Number one, we need a stronger distribution system. You can see that a Hollywood movie comes out and it's everywhere. Go down to Asia, they premiere in Asia, they have, they host in Asia, they have it everywhere. But Nollywood has not yet been able to have so much of that international presence as we would expect, not yet. But what we need to do is to create stronger marketing and distribution channels. Probably we also start working with some of the big production houses, big distribution houses in Hollywood, to help us in distributing our films. Aside that, we also need more government and be it individual backing financially, because to shoot a film is not easy. You need good money to be able to tell the right story. So when we have a stronger government, and not just because the way the government makes it now, it's not so accessible, the funds to everyone. I think if the government can make it accessible to creatives, easily accessible, and we also have individuals investing more in it, we have banks, we have industries investing in Nollywood, I think that will help Nollywood a great deal. That will go a long way. So these are the things that I feel would be able to help project Nollywood as a production, as an industry, a film industry. Well, for me, my best Nollywood film so far that I've acted in. Okay, my new title is called Muddled. It's yet to hit the market. It's coming out very soon. Muddled is a deep story which tells it tells the story of a man who is in marriage, but then starts having marital issues. And somewhere along the line, he gets to meet another lady who sweeps him over his feet. So he's stuck in between the devil and the deep blue sea. He's like, do I amend my home, continue with my wife who I love, or do I flow in with this newfound love who is artistic, who drives these emotions in me? So he's stuck in between that. So that's model. I think that's my best for now. Then you have the popular Things I Hate About You, which I did with Jackie Appiah and Kalista, because it was a beautiful. I like it was very dramatic. I like films which tell stories, not just for entertainment, but which also educates you, because that is what we Nollywood, we Africans, we are known for our film. Our films are not just the oh come and laugh. It has something you have to leave home with, something that it reminds you, or something that it enlightens you about. So my two top movies, Modeled and Things I Hate About You. Oh my goodness, my mentor. Okay, it's it's undisputable because most people who know me know my mentor already. I'm an actor who trained in Lee Strasberg Institute, and Lee Strasberg, we have alumni like the great Marlon Brando. So I would say my mentor is Marlon Brando because he was an actor who, during his time, it wasn't easy to see actors who were deep, actors were a bit shallow. He was an actor who revolutionized acting, the word acting, an actor who was able to get deeper into characters, which is the birth of what we call the method acting. So I would say Marlon Brando, I would say Sir Daniel Day-Lewis, and for the ladies, I'll say Meryl Streep. These are top-notch people who I look up to. For me, I do not have a particular role I love to portray. I think what interests me more about characters is the more challenging it is for me, the more I enjoy it. So if you're giving me the typical characters, I just go like, okay, fine, let's do it. But I like deep characters that challenge me mentally, psychologically, that challenges my profession as an actor. So I think the more complicated roles are the kind of roles I love. Unforgettable moment on set. I have to think about that. I think my unforgettable moment should be when I did unforgettable. I have to think about that again. Just give me a second. Unforgettable moment on set. Okay, that was for a film for Iroko TV where I had to play about three characters at the same time. I can't remember the title now, but I think it's been aired on Iroko, so I had to play three characters. And for me, that was unforgettable because I had to tell myself I was a crazy man because I had to, because you know how we shoot in Nollywood. I'm shooting this scene of this character, and the next moment I'm shooting this scene of the second character. So I had to be able to, in my mind, tell myself, okay, you're now playing character B, so you do not see any aspect of A in B. You can uniquely differentiate the characters. That okay, yes, this is him as this, and this is this, and this is that. So that was very tasking for me, and I guess that's my unforgettable moment. Nollywood actor I like to work with. I have a couple of them who I respect so much. I like Ramsey Noah. I think he's a fantastic actor. I like RMD. I like his courage. They all have one or two things or more, which I tap into. I like RMD, Ramsey Noah. For the ladies, who I'd love to work with, I haven't worked with yet. Uh, hmm. the ladies. Maybe let's say sorry, I'm thinking of the ladies. Who do I want to work with? Maybe an Inse. I think Inse. I like, yeah, Inse. Yeah, the young actress Adeso. I think she's fantastic. Adeso told me she's a fantastic actress. I think I would love to work with her. I'm here to work with her. And who again? Who again? Yeah, I think for now that's what I can think of. For the men, RMD, Ramsey Noah, and for the ladies, Nse and Adeswa. Nollywood producer director. Okay, the ones that I haven't worked with, I'd love to work with. I think I'd love to work with an AY. I like his packaging as a producer. I think he understands the Nigerian market very well. I like to work with AY. I love his productions. I'd love to work with Steve Gukas. I'd love to work with Roger Sofime. I have respect for him too. Great respect. I would love to work with Nollywood producer. I haven't worked with. I've said Robert Peters, right? Robert Peters, Steve Gukas. A couple of them. I can't remember anyone now, but these ones are basically interesting producers that I always feel, oh yeah, I want to work with them. Just recently, I shot a project which was partly sponsored by the Akwa Ibom State. It was a beautiful project, which is also enlightening, educational / entertainment. And yeah, not so long, my own title was finished. And for now, the project, I have a project coming up, which is going to be taking place from next year. But the recently concluded one was the one I just finished in Akwa Ibom. Oh, what I look for basically in script, number one, what is this script telling me? What's the story about? Is it something that, because I'm not so much about just come and shoot a film that is only to entertain you and that's it. So I look at the message it passes to the audience. I look at the characters, how strong the characters, how realistic they are. I look at that, and I look at the producer and the director. Because when you have a good director, we have good director you're working with, the director, it's easy for the director to be able to bring out the best of that script, because it's like bringing out what is written in what format into reality. A director is like a god. He plays God. So when you work with good directors like Sunshine Olawore, my man, who I love so much, like a couple of also young directors like Besto Kodua, like Pascal Amanfo. When you work with people like this who are creatives, whose mind is outside the box, who also understand jungle production. When this is not available, what do you do? What do you do next? You're not caught. People who can always create something out of nothing. It helps you as an actor. It helps you better interpret your role in the script. So these are the things I look at. Number one, I look at the director, good script, story itself, production outfit. Yeah. Mostly like me. I've played so many characters that looks mostly like me, because a lot of times it's a bit of a stereotype once in a while. I mean, sometimes it just happens. But I've played a lot of characters. I can't start naming names because there's been a lot of characters that because sometimes when people want to cast, they just cast it based on how you look. Okay, he looks the part, let me just give him that character. So a lot of times you end up playing characters that are closely aligned with yourself. So that's why for an actor, what you enjoy is a character that takes you totally off you. Yeah. Oh, my dream role. If you make that happen, oh, I would be so, so happy because I'm a lover. I'm not just an actor, I'm a lover of the craft. Like, I'm a lover of the most intense characters. So, my dream role is going to be like you making life come, like you renewing my life. So, my dream role should be something really complicated, something crazy, something off that has to take me like months for me to prepare for it mentally, months that really needs to make me like, because I'm a method actor, that makes me lose myself and become that character. So I come into it. So I look forward to it. If you make that happen, I would be the happiest man on earth. Most challenging role I've played. So far, the most challenging role I've played. Okay, yeah, it was a TV series called 30 Minutes. I had to play the character. It was short for Mnet. I had to play a character that was about 50 something years. And for me, that is a homework because I had to change the way I talk. I had to make my voice deeper. I had to talk more like, "Hi, my name is John." I had to change the way my face looks a bit, you know. I had to have a particular kind of facial expression for that character. I had to walk, you know, like that. It was just deep for me because at first when I was cast, when they went to cast me for they were like, "Okay, Felix," but then the producer, because that was the writer, the Biodun Stevie, she was a bit scared then. She was like, "Okay, can he do this?" Because it's scared. But then the producers, the owners of the studio were like, "Trust me, anything you give Felix, he'll do it." And when we started the first scenes, they were all blown. I can boldly say that they were all blown by it. It was beautiful because for me that was acting because we shot for like about a month or two, close to 2 months rather. And for me, even at home, I had to keep talking that way because I didn't want to lose myself. Even while we were on sets, when they had said cut, I was still talking that way. So people kept laughing at me. They thought I was crazy. They thought I was, but for me, it helped me to stay in that character. And it came out and it was a successful production. It was successful that while we were on set, 2 weeks to the production on set, we were informed by the producers that it had already been picked by Mnet in South Africa. So that was a plus. It meant we were doing something good. So it co-stars Messi, Aigbe, Barry McWeasel, a couple of really fantastic actors, and Baj Adebule. So it was a beautiful production. So for me, that was a good one. That was a good character. Okay, I get to play a lot of fun roles. I put it as fun roles because, on this script, most times they want to cast you as a playboy where you have to be with so many women. Sometimes you have to, okay, I think for me, the best of them all was where I had so many cars and I love cars. So I was given different cars, different, like I was living large, and the character had me was a young guy who was living life large, and if I can remember the title, it should be not too far, something like that. It's like 3 years back I shot that, not too far. So, but for me, it was fun because it was a good budget. We were well taken care of. We had wine all the time in our hotels every day, every night, and I had so many cars. My house was magnificent. I just felt like, oh man, you're one billionaire. So that was beautiful for me. That was interesting for me. Preparing for roles for me is so deep because for me, when I'm given a character, I like to do a lot of homework. I ask myself, what do I bring to the table that makes this character totally different from what other people would do? So when I'm given a script, after reading the script, I have a book where I note what my character is about, a character Bible. If you're not given any, I create my character Bible. I now create a character for that character. I create, what do I put it, like not necessarily a cliche, but like what the character should be doing for me. That would be so different. And I create a voice tone for that character. And for me, I always do a background to every character. Like if I'm giving a character, even if it's not written there, with the way the character progresses, I can tell what is the background of that character. So I use that background to redefine that character and make the character have something that tells you, okay, this is the reason why this character acts this way. So these are the whole thing. This is the homework that goes for me when I'm trying to play a character. This is the work I have to do. That's why I always like to have scripts ahead. So when I build into this and I come on set, it gives my character life for me. On set, what could annoy me is when there is less professionalism with actors, with crew. I think everybody should take their departments seriously, very seriously, because acting is serious business, very, very serious business, because you are telling the life that somebody is living. And acting is a ripple effect. If a department fails, it affects other departments. So what we all should come and work as a team. We are like the Godhead, let me put it that way. Every department brings in their own, and that's what perfects a production. So when you're on a set and one department is failing, it affects you. So I think these are just the basic thing. Aside that, yeah. Probably Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. And why? Because I think it's not easy for an actor to evolve from being a wrestler. You know what it means? It's not so easy breaking into industry, evolving from being a wrestler to become a successful Hollywood actor, and then still maintain so much humility despite the fact that you're a constant box office hitting actor. And you have created a niche, you've created like a life for yourself, a fan base that adores you because you, as a person, the feedback they get from you is that this is a positively inclined person. This is someone who drives for the best. So I think I want to have someone like that on my set. But for Nigeria, if he's in Nollywood, the actor I'd love to have on my set is an RMD, any day, anytime. If I could not act, well, I'll be into business, or probably I would be into distribution of films, or I'll still be working behind the industry, somewhere around the industry, if I was an actor. Well, I've learned a lot from actors like Ramsey Noah, who has helped me who has helped me understand. I think that happened even earlier in my life because I used to watch a lot of his movies, who helped me understand speech modulation. And then an RMD who has presence when he acts. Then for producers, I've learned a lot from the AY, the Uche Mbonambo, who I have great respect for. AY is a producer who understands marketing so well. He understands how to market his film, how to do a good promotion to sell out. And then you have an Uche who understands how the system works, how to dish out content back to back that educates one way or the other, that has something you have to take back home. Then from directors, I'll use a Sunshine Olawore. I've learned how to be able to utilize your time, that no matter what happens, if there is a stump, find a way around it. So in other words, never ever let anything hold you back, drag you back. Find a way and still achieve your goals despite the distractions, despite the heat you're having. Then from someone like Pascal Amanfo, I've learned to be able to communicate, to hear to be on the same page with other actors, because it's always interesting when a director wants to see an actor's view to characters. So that way you can tap into his mind, you can all be on the same mind. So I've learned that from him. When I'm not acting, so much. If I'm not acting, sometimes I lecture people on acting. I do acting classes for people, private classes too. Uh, I also handle my businesses, which I'm into quite a number of businesses. And what I do when I'm not acting, well, for my free time, I'm watching movies a lot because I love to watch movies, is what I do. And I learn from movies I watch. I learn a lot. Then, yeah, that's just about it for me. That's what I do. Comedy. It seems to be the trend. I think it's also something that flows into other industries right now because uh, they come to a cinema and they want to enjoy a film and laugh about it. So I like that. So I think what drives the fans, we have fans who love comedy. We also have fans who love to learn from the films they watch. They want to see situations in films that they can relate to. And that is even what even projected the popular Eastern kind of Nollywood films, being shot in the Eastern region to, it's the fact that their stories are stories you can relate to, you can understand, oh, this has happened to anybody, this is, so I think these are things that the fans love. I think a lot of time, because of how our industry is fashioned, if you're not constantly working, because we have a lot of actors, it's easy for people to quickly forget you. So I think what we can use to revive our veterans who are no more on screen is to create more job employment, to have them in movies constantly, and also if there is a way they can have an interactive, and when I mean interactive, it doesn't have to be personal, it could be through social media with their fan base, and do meet and greets where you invite them, even if it's not a film they are in, but you invite people, you invite them to come for it so that their fans can come and go like, oh yeah, I used to know this actor then. So these are the things you can use to create that harmony, to revive their status, and to remind people of the great work they did in the past. Advice, it's a long journey. It's never an easy journey. But once you stay true to God, once you stay true to your passion, don't let fame or money be your driving force. Let the passion for the arts, for the craft, be your driving force. And eventually, your passion will begin to pay. That's the basic advice I have for them. Fun fact about me. Well, the fun stuff about me is I always think outside the box. So I think I know how to relate with everybody. I can relate with any kind of person because I'm not judgmental. I'm an open-minded person. So I accept all kinds of people with different kinds of characters. And for me, I enjoy watching movies a lot. I don't think most of my fans know that. I love watching movies a lot. So if you do not catch me at the cinema, you do not catch me at the beach, you probably will see me in my house. So it's more like that for me, the cinema or the beach, because the beach helps me meditate, it helps me calm, think about characters, strategize in my head and all that. And the movies helps me learn from other actors, be it Nollywood, be it Hollywood. I learn from other actors. And I think those are the things that fine tune who you are as a person. You can't say Felix is like this. I'm just someone who, I flow into everything. So my personality cannot be truly defined because somehow over time, you've been able to portray so many characters. At a point, you lose identity of yourself and you become so many characters at the same time. So I would say Felix is just a basket of characters.